Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Too Dire to Unwire podcast. I'm your host, Rusty Number 5, and the Thomas fandom is going a little haywire right now. This is something that we have very much anticipated for, I guess, technically over a year, because it's been over a year since this thing was announced, but it was announced kind of ominously as just kind of like a new project, a quote, thrilling new journey that will excite fans both old and new. And we didn't really know what that meant at the time. It was very vague. I made a whole video on my channel going over what the heck that could possibly mean. I made a whole bunch of theories, and looking back at that video, it's some of the stuff I said there is kind of absurd. Like I was talking about like, oh, it could be books. But I honestly like. This video is only 10 months old, and I'm already kind of looking back at it like really? Really? I really said that? I really thought that? It's like, I don't know, what exactly did I say? I was talking about, like, like, primarily, like, how this could set up the Mark Forster Thomas movie, which is still something that I believe as a possibility, that this could be a setup for that movie, assuming that movie is still happening. I mean, it was announced in 2020, and we haven't heard anything about it since. It's been complete cricket noises since 2020. Like, I think, like, I think it was, like, I can't remember if it was, like, before, like, right before the Barbie movie came out, or, like, right after, where, like, in 2023, Mattel did seem to confirm that the Thomas movie, the Mark Forster Thomas movie, was still happening. I guess, sort of. It was listed as still being on their slates of upcoming films, and they announced a whole bunch of films. Actually, like, when we look up here, the upcoming Mattel movies, because there's quite a bit here. Okay, here we go. It'll load. 18 upcoming. Okay, so open up that toy box. 18 upcoming movies and other projects based on Mattel toys. He-Man and Matchbox aren't the only Barbie follow-up projects that Mattel is planning. So yeah, it goes over, the success of the Barbie movie, and something about Mattel's CEO, and talking about, successful movies. American Girl doll is getting a movie, so they're venturing off into dolls, which, I mean, they've already done Barbie, so it does fit, but yeah, it does kind of seem like, oh, we have one doll brand and it got a movie and it did really well, so if we do the same thing with the other doll brand that we own, it'll have the exact same result, which, I mean, I guess from a major corporation's perspective of thinking, I guess it does make sense, because, Barbie did gross, 10 trillion and stuff, more than Morbius. What else we got? Yeah, Barney. There's supposed to be a Barney movie. And get this. This Barney movie is supposed to be surrealist. We are getting a mature Barney movie before a mature Thomas movie. Like, we can't have a mature Thomas movie. That just crosses the line. But yeah, Barney the purple stupid dinosaur. We can get a surrealist, crazy, out of this world, mature, epic film about Barney. But Thomas is just too much. Like, I mean, Thomas for some reason is still considered. I mean, well, I mean, I guess it does make sense. I mean, it is a show for little kids at the end of the day. As much as we all like to argue about how, like, Thomas is this really sophisticated thing, it's a show for kindergartners. Like honestly, like, kindergartners are the target demographic, like 3 to 6, 3 to 7, something like that. 3 to 6, yeah. Like that's the target demographic, not us man babies. I hate to break it to everyone. This is my public service announcement, but that's just simply the case. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, this Barney movie is being described as an A24 type surrealist film, similar to Being John Malkovich or Adaption. So there's that. We'll see how this goes. Hot Wheels. Hot Wheels, which is, I mean, again, makes sense. The Magic 8 Ball. They're making a film about the darn Magic 8 Ball. I don't know where they got this idea from and why they would make a film about the Magic 8 Ball. It seems very strange. Like why the Magic 8 Ball? You know, like a literal ball that you shake, and it gives these very vague answers of should I ask out this girl, and it spits out, gee, I don't know, maybe dog. They're making a movie about that. I mean, actually, now that I think about it, I mean, I guess a Magic 8 Ball movie could be interesting if done right. I mean, like, yeah, the whole idea of it being a thing that, you ask and predict stuff and all of that. I guess it can work. Like, inherently, it's not a bad idea for a film. But I am kind of gonna go bananas if it comes out before the Mark Forster Thomas movie. Again, assuming if the Mark Forster Thomas movie is even still happening at this point, I feel like I mean, I think a lot of us have accepted what is very possibly this movie's inevitable fate, and that movie just, the fact is, just like, yeah, it's probably not happening. But the thing that I've been wondering for quite some time is there any way that anyone, anywhere, can ask Mark For like just ask Mark Forster himself? Like, is there any way we can just get that confirmation from the Mark man himself? Like, is that possible? Can someone do that, or is he like? Well, I mean, he is high profile. He made Christopher Robin, for crying out loud. But I mean, realistically speaking, it's gonna have to come up at some point in some interview, something. There has to be someone who's gonna be like, "Hey, Mark, you seem to be forgetting something, Mark. Yeah, Mark, you seem to be something here, something. You might need to like get on. Yeah, something you might need to take a little more seriously, Mark. You might need to lock in, Mark." But yeah, back to these upcoming Mattel films. Looking at the list here, I'm just kind of going through all of them. Yeah, Magic 8 Ball, Masters of the Universe, Matchbox, Polly Pockets. It's being described here as Barbie's tinier counterpart. Again, here we go with the whole Barbie influence thing, and Mattel thinks that just because Barbie did well, they can essentially just make a film about like every single toy brands that they own, and it's also gonna gross, a whole bunch of dollars, which like just isn't realistic, especially with some like the Rock'em Sock'em Robots are getting a movie. These things. And okay, here we go. Here we have the Thomas movie. It says here, after it appeared that the train couldn't get out of the station for several years, Mattel announced in January 2026. Oh, what? Right? Yeah. Okay, that's just a description of the reboots. But yeah, given that there hasn't been any sort of talk about the movie in the three. I mean, then again, the Barbie movie was announced in 2009, and it didn't come out until 2023. So I guess anything is possible, but even then, I feel like let's be real. And honestly, this goes for just all of these movies, not just Thomas. All of these upcoming toy movies that Mattel is making. I feel like I don't know the Barbie movie that might be like a thing where like I don't know if these other toy movies have a chance. I don't know if these other Mattel brands that Mattel owns. I don't know if these really have a chance against Barbie because like yeah, I feel like Barbie is generally like a bigger thing in our society and our culture than again Rock'em Sock'em Robots, and Barbie appeals to a lot more people, especially with the messages in the Barbie movie. everything regarding like like the gender stuff. And I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, unless they can figure out a way to pull it off to make it like appealing to a like a mass audience in the same way that the Barbie movie did. I don't know. I really I feel like these could very well be a whole bunch of box office flops with the exception of like two of them. Oh, and they're also making an Uno movie. Like, okay, the Magic 8 Ball movie I can get. I can see the vision for that. But what could an Uno movie? The Uno card game with the numbers and the colors, and when you win, you say Uno. And the game, on average, at least in my experience, the average game is like 20 minutes. What can you possibly do with that? What can you possibly make? How can you possibly write a feature-length script about Uno. Like what is there? Like there cannot be that much. Like it's Uno. Yeah, it's like it's the game that people play when they're bored. It's not that interesting or special. Well, I mean, Uno's fun. I love myself a good Uno game. But like I don't know if anyone in the history of ever in the history of humankind's before 2023 was like, you know, it would be good an Uno movie. Like that's just not a thing that's been said before. I don't know. Or maybe or maybe it has. Maybe there's been some sort of Uno movie idea before. An Uno short film I can get behind. Sure, I can see like an indie short film. I feel like I'm sure those exist somewhere. But like again, it's Uno. A feature film about Uno just doesn't seem like something that has even an ounce of potential. And what else we got? Yeah, whack-a-mole. I completely forgot about that. Okay, actually, did I even know about this? Okay, it was announced in May 2025, so more recent than the other movies here. I and again, sure. I mean, sure. I mean, it makes more sense than the Uno movie, but like I really don't know if anyone before last year has ever thought whack-a-mole movie. I mean I'm sure they could do something creative with that. I mean the whack-a-mole, like I know, like where like the moles get sent to some dimension or whatever. I don't know, or a horror movie. I don't know, a whack-a-mole horror movie that might actually be a fun time. And then they include a bonus here of Monopoly that, despite not being Mattel, being Hasbro, Monopoly will also be getting the big screen treatments. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Monopoly game, I mean, I'm sure there's something. I'm sure there's something they can do there with, like, the wealthy bald guy. Yeah. But that is the future, or in the Thomas movie's case, possibly the never, because it may never happen. But yeah, earlier this year, it was announced that we were getting a fully fledged Thomas reboot. Like not like just like a new like season 25, whatever, like it's a full fledged, like they're starting over from scratch sort of thing. And we had an image come out. Actually not an image. Well, yeah, we had some images, some promotional arts. But alongside the promotional art, we also got I think it was like 6 seconds still, a 6 second video of Thomas kind of just like chugging along. A frame of Thomas just kind of, chuffing along, doing his thing. And that was the only piece of footage that we had from the movie, with like reboots, for as like a solid like 7, 8 months, I think. So that was rather infuriating for a lot of people, including myself, because we needed more. Right? We craved more because for the last 9 years we've been stuck with the Wubba and All Go garbage, and This is our opportunity to be excited about new Thomas content again after literally almost a decade. And Mattel was just kind of gatekeeping everything. They wouldn't reveal anything to us. They left us in the dark for a really long time. So a lot of people were getting really impatient, including me. In fact, I made a whole review where the skit was like where I'm like getting impatient to the point where like I start like a 24-hour like multiple day live stream to like get Mattel's attention. They're like, I will not sleep until Mattel releases the reboot trailer. But in real life, not in a TWR review skit world, there was this one person who was being rather crazy and was essentially harassing Mattel on Twitter and being like Mattel, you better release the trailer or like I will raid your headquarters or like something like that, like making a bunch of threats and stuff if they don't release this Choo Choo Train show trailer. Yeah. And welcome to the Thomas fandom, everyone. This is the person who represents us for sure. And yeah, it seems like they listened because we did in fact get a trailer. We got it yesterday at the time I'm recording this. I'm not sure when this will come out, but it is August 21st. It is the day after. It is the day after the big day. Um, at the time I'm recording this, and people have some thoughts. People have some thoughts on this trailer for sure. Um, I'm gonna discuss the trailer in a frame by frame manner. Have it pulled up here. And there's so much to talk about, so much to unwrap. And I'm looking at this first frame here of Tidmouth Sheds, and there's so much to talk about in this single frame. Like it's actually astounding. So, okay, so the first shot, it's Tidmouth Sheds, which they have added a whole big label that says Tidmouth Sheds to Tidmouth Sheds, which is funny because Mattel, they were making a big deal about how like they're not putting the nameplates or anything like that. They're not putting any English on the engines or rolling stock or anything for the international market. Yet they can add this whole big Tinmouth Shed sign on top of Tinmouth Shed. Like no, I mean this is definitely a toy thing. Like this may or may not be like a half show, half toy ad thing, because this is definitely like Tinmouth Shed. And when you look at the new diecast set for Tinmouth Sheds, it just released along with all of the other stuff. Yeah, you can tell they definitely redesigned Tinmouth Sheds in the show in this reboot with the intention of it correlating heavily with the new merchandise. Hopefully, it doesn't feel too much like a toy commercial, though, but we will see. And now the main thing that everyone's talking about is who was at Tidmouth Sheds, and this is a first. We have Rosie at Tidmouth Sheds. It seems like they are finally making her a main character, which is something that they have been teasing for like a decade at this point. Because if you remember back in season 21 of all the promotional arts and everything, this was back when Rosie had just gained her red livery, and this was like early 2017. They were acting like Rosie was a main character now. They were acting like she was like joining the Steam team and everything. And let me just see. Let me just go on the really reliable Thomas the Tank Engine wiki or wikia. I don't know. I call it wikia. Let me know in the comments if you call it wikia. Just know you're wrong. Like, let's see. How many appearances did Rosie make in season 21? She speaks in one episode. She speaks in a singular episode, the fastest red engine on Sodor. Yeah, and then she makes two cameos. Yet Mattel, they were acting like she was a new series regular. I don't know what that was, but I don't know why they didn't add Rosie to the Steam team next season when when they kicked out Edward and Henry. I feel like they could have easily done that. I mean, they were setting it up. I mean, and yeah, I also I don't get why they would even like if you're gonna replace Edward and Henry and replace them with two female characters, can they be pre-existing female characters like Molly's right over there, Flora's right over there, again Rosie, which you guys were shoving as if she was going to become a main character the very previous year. She was quite literally right there, and you guys did nothing with her. Like nothing with her at all. It's strange. And also it seems like Rebecca has just been like completely nuked out of the show. Like she's not coming back. Like she's basically dead. There's no sign. I mean, she wasn't in All Engines Go for one. And the fact that she's not in this, the fact that she already missed out on, the whole All Engines Go show, and now she's missing out on the reboot, so it seems. It seems like pretty much every character but Rebecca has been confirmed for this reboot, except for like Dawn and Douglas, I think. But yeah, that's not a good sign for her. I have a feeling she's straight up never coming back ever. I have a feeling we're just never seeing her again, honestly. But yeah, and the other neat thing, um, this one frame is Bruno. Yeah, Bruno appears to be a main character. I don't know if they're still doing the Steam Team thing. Honestly, I hope they aren't, because the Steam Team's getting really old at this point, especially now that like in recent years, starting of like beginning like around like the Bubba period, the Steam Team became like an in-universe thing. Where actually, I believe according to the Thomas Wiki, the first instance of them using the Steam Team in universe is the Missing Christmas Decorations, which was all the way back in season 17. But I remember like they started pretty heavily making it like an in-universe thing around like 2019. I mean they had a special called Steam Team to the Rescue. And it was pretty much all downhill from there. I mean, there were, back when Thomas was narrating the show, remember that? Like he would be like back at Tin of Sheds, the Steam Team was figuring out what to do. It's a toy thing. It's a toy thing. It's a toy marketing thing. It's not supposed to be an in-universe elite cool kids club where these guys are actually the Steam Team. Like that's not how it's supposed to be at all. Anyway, back to Bruno. I'm really glad they're keeping Bruno. I'm really glad they're keeping that autism representation. I think it's really dope that we have a canonically autistic character in Thomas now. I've heard some stuff about Theo possibly being like canonically. I don't know if he's like canonically autistic or not, but Bruno, they're making it very clear like he's the autistic character. And yeah, I'm really glad they're keeping like the only good elements of all engines. Yeah, I'm really glad. Sandy's not in this, so yeah, I'm really glad they're keeping Bruno. And I believe that's supposed to be like I believe they put like Harold's helipad with Tim of Sheds, which I find to be a really strange choice because well, doesn't Harold like? I mean, he has a helipad at the Sodor Search and Rescue Center. Assuming that still exists, I don't know. They're being kind of weird. But yeah, that's all for that. And then we get this sort of 3D spinny kind of frame of Tim Sheds. It's neat. I mean, it's neat. It's neat camera. I feel like they're gonna do more unique things with the camera angles in this show, just from the looks of this trailer. And Thomas has a visible human driver again. in the window, you can see a human, which is not something that's really been prevalent in the show, in the franchise, and like genuinely, how long? Like 15 years? And they do seem to be keeping like this the "I Can Be a Helper" song. I am getting All Engines Go flashbacks from it. I'm sorry to bring up All Engines Go in a comparing manner like this, where it's kind of similar to All Engines Go so quickly, but like yeah, the "I Can Be a Helper" song, like it literally it has All Engines Go written all over it. Now I will say I'm seeing a lot of people who are saying that like oh, this new reboot is just All Engines Go in disguise, but I feel like when you look really closely, it's clearly not. I mean, they're clearly trying to make this like a lot more like grounded. I mean, literally they're grounded, or I mean, they're bouncing, but like they're not, not jumping off the rails anymore. And I feel like just because they're singing doesn't mean oh, it's exactly like All Engines Go, because like you can tell they're clearly trying to distance themselves. I mean, they literally said like, "Oh yeah, Boba and Ultra's, oh yeah, those were complete and utter failures." Yeah, yeah, that didn't work. I feel like they are trying to like make this like not Boba and not All Engines. Well, minus the song, but like other than that, I feel like they definitely they want this to be its own thing. Yeah. Or maybe I'm too hopeful. I don't know. We'll see on September 17th when this thing finally releases. And okay, yeah, here we go. Here we go. Farmer McCool. Farmer McCool. The main. It seems like rather concern. I don't know about it's like concerning or like I find it intriguing. Intriguing. That's the right word here. Um, people are excited about this new Farmer McCool. Um, yeah, they wanna. There are things that people wish to do to Farmer McCool, things I will not mention, but people are getting hyped about him. And I mean, I will say he does look quite nice. I think he's got a good look going on. The hat, the vest, the button up thing. Yeah, it works for him. It's a good style. I won't say more than that, but it's a good style for him. Some of you are going really overboard, really overboard. And some of you I'm concerned about. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. And we got this conductor here that's blowing the whistle and waving a blue flag, which apparently is an actual thing. I'm not sure what it symbolizes on railways. But it's there, and I guess they've done some research, and I guess that's good that they're doing railway research again. That's another thing severely severely separates it from All Engines Go. The bouncing, I don't like how I mean, I've gotten used to the bouncing, and I think that like 99% of the fandom has at this point. Oh my god, I still don't like it. And the bouncing is still extremely prevalent, and it still bugs me. Okay, next shot. This we have a character here. We got a character, a yellow crane, yellow long crane. It's not Kevin. It's not Carly. At least I don't think. This could end up being Kevin somehow. But I mean, this has to be Crane Truck J. I mean, he's very prominent in this trailer, like more prominent than you would expect. Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll just see. I hope this isn't. I really hope this isn't Kevin, and they've just completely massacred him. That would be really disappointing. And the Fat Controller does not seem. He seems to just be Duck Controller now. He's kind of. I mean, he's lost. He's lost some weight, so that's good. I'm seeing a lot of people saying like, "Oh, he's on Ozempic now." It's like, man, I feel like he is still like, I mean, he is still like the like, I mean, he's not like the thin controller, but like, I mean, yeah, he is noticeably skinnier. See anything else worthy here? I like the sunset backdrop. I feel like the animation in general looks nice. It looks very bubbly. It looks very expressive. I like it. That's something. And okay, oh yeah, and they do emphasize songs, which I mean, of course, I mean, classic series, and I mean, Thomas has had songs for forever, but this could be a thing of like they might not be abandoning the whole musical series thing that they began in All Engines Go, but yeah, I mean, as long as they're good songs, it doesn't matter. Now, this part here, where after the narrator guy, the song you'll be thinking on for the ends. This song here, like where the chorus, they were like Thomas. I swear I swear that was about to be he's a really useful. I swear they were about to start singing that. Actually, it kind of sounds like Thomas's Winter Wonderland, like they were like Thomas. It's Thomas's Winter Wonderland. Imagine if they brought back some of the classic songs. They won't, but imagine if they did. I mean, they did that in The Adventure Begins. That was only 11 years ago, so I guess anything is possible. Again, maybe I'm too hopeful. I'm kind of mixed on this. I mean, there are things I don't like I've mentioned. The animation. I mean, I do like the animation. I like it, but I feel like it is a step down from the previous CGI era, or well, I mean the Brenner era. It looks better than Bubba, but I think CGI Thomas has reached his peak. There's no way this is going to be better than like there's no way this is going to be better than the Brenner era. I'm sorry, but like there's no way there's no way that this is going to surpass the Brenner era. Like there's honestly there's a pretty decent chance that these two won't even be on the same field. Maybe I'm sure it'll be. It could very well be like pretty good. But I'm not expecting Brenner era level quality back. I never was with this. Like as soon as this was announced, I was like, yeah, this probably isn't going to be as good as the Brenner era. But it does generally look promising. You know, it does seem like things are back to normal. It does seem like they're putting in effort into this. Oh, and we have like an actual okay. Originally, this we all thought that this was going to be like it was just going to be called Thomas and Friends, but this appears to be called Thomas and Friends Railway Stories. That's yeah, kind of words like well, it's like Percy number six's One Railway series, One Railway Stories, and so the special, not a movie, it's a special. It's only 30 minutes. It's gonna be called Really Helpful Engines, which sounds super generic, like super duper generic. I'm not sure why they called it Really Helpful Engines when Really Useful Engines is right there. And without like this special and like just the show as a whole, I still just I can't. This could suck. I still can't tell if this is actually going to be good or like worth watching or not. There's still just like it still kind of feels like we know nothing at all, honestly, even though we have a trailer. Like like I feel like everything the narrator was saying in this trailer was just super generic too. Like join Thomas and his friends on these adventures where they have adventures and they work together and stuff. It's like, okay, anything else? Can you elaborate a little bit more? I mean, we still don't have a plot for the special. We have a name, that's good, but that's not good enough. But, I guess we'll have to wait until September 17th, which, kind of strangely, I mean, it's not too strange in today's age. It's coming a lot more normalized, I think. I've seen it a lot more. Um, they are premiering. I'm not sure if it's just the special or like the whole show stuff. Um, they are premiering. They're premiering it on YouTube on September 17th. They're premiering it on YouTube before it drops on Netflix, which I find very interesting. And I have a feeling. They are heavily focusing on YouTube already, but like I'm rather intrigued by the fact that they're launching this on YouTube first. I feel like they're trying to make YouTube the main hub for Thomas. Like I wish Thomas could just come back to PBS. Honestly, that was Thomas's home. Literally, it was there starting in 1989 of Shining Time Station, and it stayed there. Well, I mean, there was a hiatus after like Shining Time Station stopped airing, and etc. But like, Thomas was on PBS from the 80s until the 2010s, with only like a short break in between time. And I feel like it worked really well because PBS it's accessible to basically so many way more people than Netflix. And eventually it got like even though it was initially the show when the hit era started airing on PBS, it used to air at like 7 a.m. on like Sundays. That was how it was, or at least that was what it was in North Carolina. I don't know about the rest of the states. But eventually they did bring it over to a 12 p.m. slot, and that worked really well. I think Thomas on PBS generally got a lot bigger once they made that decision. And I'm really glad they did. Until the show stopped airing in 2017, and ever since then it's been a downward spiral as far as Thomas's accessibility goes. And it's been really unfortunate to see, honestly, and I hope something can change there. Yeah, I really want the next generation to be able to, experience Thomas in the way that I have and thousands of other people have. The Thomas fandom members, all the Thomas YouTubers, all the people who have, built these bonds and went to these meetups and, made all these friends and stuff over, Thomas the Tank Engine. No, I really hope that more people in the future can have that. I'd like to see I'd like to see I'd like to see kids in like 2040 who just like I was in 2016 starting up their Thomas YouTube channel. I'd like to see that keep going because Thomas is just such a creative outlet. You can do so much with that little blue train and his friends. I almost feel like I'm gonna get emotional, but yeah, Thomas is there for you. You can do so much with like all the island of Sodor. Like there's so much creative potential there, and I really it should continue to be like again like an outlet of creativity stuff. Again, like how it was for me and so many other people. Um, but yeah, those are my thoughts on the reboot trailer. Again, there's still not too much that we really know, honestly. Like plot wise at least. This could be hot garbage. But we'll just have to wait and see. Yes, I know, but remember patience is a virtue. It's a virtue. And I think regardless of the outcome, it should be an interesting time. Especially these toys are really interesting because we got our first look at motorized Edward in the diecast range, and yeah, I don't know what that is. That's not Edward at all. I don't know why he has that grin, like ugh. like like he's trying to be Spencer. Like I don't get it. And Salty, I know Salty from this side just looks completely wrong. He's just completely yellow. Yeah. I don't know. I'm really split on these toys. Some of them are pretty good, and then others are horrifying. But yeah, it's an interesting time in the Thomas fandom for sure, and we'll see how it goes. How long this reboot lasts and how long the fandom remains stable for. I mean, I'm pretty sure the fandom's on its last legs in terms of stability. I mean, it's probably broken apart by now, but I mean, I'm also hoping that this. I mean, this reboot. I mean, this reboot is fun to talk about. In the fandom in general. Again, so it's all part of that bond. Good or bad. And yeah, with that, that will do it for today's episode of the Too Dire to Unwire podcast. Let me know your thoughts on this reboot, this crazy reboot, this long-awaited thing. This thing that we've been waiting for so long, and now it's here, and now no one really knows how to feel about it. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on it on the comments down below if you're watching this on YouTube. I'm not sure if I'll put this on other platforms or not. But yeah, thank you for listening, and rust out.